Welcome back, everyone. I am Zadie, and this is Kerbal Space Program. And today, people, we're building more satellites. Let me know if this is getting boring for you or not, but I enjoy the satellites. It's a lot of fun for me. Today, what we're building is something very important that we need to get done, and it's going to get us a couple of contracts done as well. And that is, we're building our very first ScanSat satellite. What the ScanSat's going to do for us is it's going to show us different biomes. It's going to show us where stuff is on the ground that we can investigate, and it's also going to get us some money from some contracts. They actually have, in one of the mods that I have in there, it's one of the contract mods. It actually adds ScanSat contracts. So that's a way to get science, money, and reputation through scanning planets, which is really cool. So this is going to be our first attempt at a ScanSat satellite, and we're just basically putting the bits and bombs together right now. I did unlock some RCS stuff. I think it's going to be helpful to throw those on there. As you can see here, me desperately looking for the RCS motors. Right now we don't have the good ones. We just got the jets, really, which they're not bad. It's just they're not really that good for stability control like the 4 ones are. Quick note for everyone is that if you're going to put RCS on something, you better make sure you're going to cover every axis, and that's the 4 axes on the side and the 2 on the one on the top, one on the bottom. Basically, it's, think of it in something in a 3D plane, being able to move left, right, up, down, backwards, and forwards. I did not do that. I just put them doing essentially up, down, left, and right. No backwards and forwards. Yeah, it's a design flaw, and we will. Well, you'll see what happens here in a little bit, won't you? Right now we're working on the main body of this. I did got MechJeb on there for satellites in the future. I don't have it unlocked right now. Spoiler warning. I find that out during after the launch, but there's certain tiers that you have to unlock in MechJeb as well. For future reference, I am going to, Jesus Christ, that music fast forward is, holy crap. That is wicked in my ears. I've got your headphones on, so it sounds a little different than what you guys will hear. Anyways, yeah, going forward, when it comes to placing satellites in orbit, I'm going to be putting them in a very specific orbit. That way you can get full coverage of satellites over the moon, over Minimus, and yeah. It's going to be something that I'm going to use in the future, but I think me doing it manually now kind of proves that I'm capable of putting satellites into orbit, and that MechJeb is, even though it's quote-unquote cheaty, it's not that cheaty. It's just more precise than I can be. We're going for a new launcher design on this one with 4 regular fuel tank launchers, and yeah, I've been toying around with launcher designs, trying to move. I'm basically preparing to be putting larger and larger things into space, and the larger things are, the bigger rockets you need. So it's something I'm toying around with. I don't particularly like the 4 rockets on the bottom. I think it looks like crap. I'd rather have one big rocket on the bottom, but I don't have those parts unlocked as of right now. And if you'll notice, that was a nice little quick cut to this particular rocket that we just built in space, and you'll see why in just a second. There's a thing in Kerbal Space Program called balancing. We did not balance this at all. Well, I say we. I don't want to shift the responsibility of what my dumbass did to you guys. But as you can see, there is 0 control on this little thing. So yeah, we're going to scrap that, get back to the drawing board, and start redesigning. It just sat there and spun. I couldn't move the satellite anywhere. It has to do with the ScanSat satellite not weighing as much as the relay dish. We're going to remedy that here in just a second by taking the Kerbal Engineer off the top, getting rid of the RCS because it was pointless. We're going to add a stability control that's going to help out and keep it stable. And we're also going to take the ScanSat itself, and we're going to put it on the side. I know right now it's on top, but I do end up putting it on the side here in just a second. Basically, you see me right there looking at the thrust versus the center of mass. with our old design, the thrust and the center of mass didn't go through each other like it is currently. See how it's kind of going straight down the middle? That's what you want. It wasn't doing that prior to in the last design. I didn't check it until after things had failed. Even though it's a little bit off on this one, it's still going to be fine. We got the stability assist. That's going to help out a lot. And, well, this would be a good example. Oh, shit, it moved too fast. Anyways, you could kind of see it there that the stability of the aircraft would have been cattywonker. I ended up ditching the dish altogether and tried putting the ScanSat back on top. ScanSat, for whatever reason, doesn't want to lock onto top or bottom nodes. It only wants to attach to the side, which is fine. We'll just put an antenna on top. It's balanced enough to where it's going to work, and if it doesn't work, we'll just rebuild a new one. But as you can hear from the loud goddamn rockets going off in my ear, I really need to adjust the sound on my headset. As a matter of fact, let's just go ahead and turn that down just right there. And now that my ears aren't bleeding profusely, go ahead and showcase this beautiful rocket that we've created. It's basically just showcasing the 4 rockets on the bottom. Also, I got a really good tip from Shadow Guardian. Shout out to him. He said, when launching in low carbon atmosphere, keep your speeds from 250 to 300 meters per second. What that'll do is reduce the inefficiency of me launching. Kind of doing that here, even though he just gave me that tip. So that's something that I'm going to try and do in the future more consistently. So that way it's not... basically, it's a way to make your rockets a little bit more efficient. And it's a good tip, and I appreciate it, Shadow. Shout out to you. Awesome. Really good tip. Thank you very much. And here we are in space. We're going to go ahead and deploy all of our lovelies that are attached to this rocket and get this thing into Kerbal orbit. And since we deployed the ScanSat already, it's actually recording data right now. This is also while we had it attached and everything to the main body. I'm testing a few things here and there, mainly to see if the batteries, if I got enough batteries on it for it to scan properly, and also that the 2 solar panels that I do have on there, that they're capable of generating enough energy to keep that thing powered up while it's scanning, and it seems to be doing a pretty good job. Having 2 solar panels like that on the side is not necessarily the best setup for it. You really want to have as much full coverage as possible. Those do rotate horizontally up, and basically they'll rotate in a circle. But if it does, with Kerbal rotating around the sun and everything, if it does get into a particular orbit to where the sun doesn't hit those, the energy will run out, and you actually have to wait a couple of seasons as the Kerbal moves around the sun in order for it to be visible, be dead on with the solar panels again. I don't think I'm going to have to worry about that too much. That's basically, it's not going to do it right now, and I will orientate this thing a lot better here in a few minutes. But as you can see, we got into orbit. I did that on purpose. I didn't want to risk making another stupid design, but I have to test it, so that's what we're going to do next. And here we are testing it, going around, making sure that it's keeping its power, also making sure that it's scanning. As you'll notice, I'm not too familiar with the updated version of ScanSat. You can see the orbit path right there. I'm getting ready to turn that off. You can also see there's a grid. There's the thing that's below the orbit. Oh, I just refreshed it, which is good because that's what I was waiting to do, and I just realized there's a refresh button. So it is scanning, and it is capturing all of Kerbal, so it is in a good orbit for that. You can do day-night cycle, which is what that was. You've got the question mark, that is for stuff that's on the ground. And I don't know what the one above the question mark is for. And there's like a color graph. I don't know that one either. And I think one of the other one's terrain or something like that. Again, I'm not too familiar with ScanSat's new update, or updated since the last time that I used it, which was a hell of a long time ago. So I'm still learning on the ScanSat side. And also, since this is the first ScanSat that we've received, it's not going to be giving very detailed information. This is very basic information right now. And here we go with the test to see if this thing will fly straight. We separated, and we went ahead and fired the engine up. Lo and behold, it is not rotating. We are good. And now what we're going to do is send that same exact thing to the moon to not enough power. We're going to send that thing to the moon so we can actually get some info on the moon as well. See the biomes on it. That is very important. That's going to be very important for scientific discovery. Knowing where the biomes are can actually save you fuel. So instead of just jumping around guessing, you can just, all right, there's the biome over there. I'm going to point the rocket towards the biome, and I'm going to fly over there, and I'm going to get some science. God knows why the person who is on the moon sounds like a redneck. Probably because it's voiced by me. But, you know, hey, them's the ropes. Or the brakes, or whatever you say. Insert quip. Quickly. I'm editing this. Insert something good. I failed me. I failed me greatly. Anyways, here we are in orbit. As you can see, this is a proven system now. The 4 rockets is good. And this little launch system is great. I still got MechJeb on there for some reason, even though I clearly know it doesn't work. But I know what does work, and this rocket is definitely going to be good enough to get us to the moon. Safely, soundly, and easily, actually. Getting to the moon, I've gotten a lot of practice here. I don't think I think I've done a maneuver node for the moon once. I've gotten really good at just eyeballing it. Again, the moon is super, super duper easy to get to. We're going to go ahead and set up some maneuver nodes. We're going to try and get this thing in a polar orbit over the moon. That way, it will cover the entire surface of the moon. That's a little tip for you guys if you're doing ScanSat. Make sure you put it in a polar orbit, because think about it. If you just have it in an equatorial orbit or something like that, it's only going to get pictures of the equator. But if you put it in a polar orbit, it's going to get pictures of the entire planet, because the planet moves on its axis. Axis? Redneck. Yes. Anyways, it moves on its poles. There we go. Change the sentence if you can't say it. And since it does that, you're going to get a picture of the entire planet eventually. I know it may sound like common sense to some people. Why did I pause there? I don't know. But anyways, yeah, it may sound like common sense to some people, but some people may not know that. And that's why I'm here. I'm here to teach you guys the failings of what I've done. And hopefully I'm able to do that. Anyways, guys, we're getting to the end of our video. I would like to say thank you for watching. As always, you know I appreciate it if you guys share, like, and subscribe. It means a lot to me. I can't say enough about my crowd. Comments are off the chain. I try to respond to them as best as possible. I do most of my responding to comments while I'm at work and I'm bored, because my job is not very interesting. But hopefully that's going to change soon. I may have a big announcement for you guys. And if that big announcement, if it does happen, that means you might be getting Kerbal Space Program more than once a week, which I would love to do. But things have to happen in order for that to take place. And I will keep you guys up to date. Hopefully you will be seeing an update video from me soon, telling you all sorts of wonderful things. And if you don't see that, that means, well, I didn't get the job and I'm still stuck in my old job, which is, I work, you know, evenings, so it's still the same amount of content. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.